Game one, Steph is wearing the Curry 9s, which is pretty much predictable. He's been wearing those all season. However, game two, and sporadically throughout the regular season, he's been wearing these. It's Flotro season. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got something that I'm personally really excited for. These guys right here, these potential bad boys. I really want to call them bad boys, but I'm just not quite certain yet. However, this, my friends, is the Curry brand's Curry 4 Flotro. These guys right here, I just think are a complete upgrade to their original counterpart, the Curry 4. Look at the glue that they used on these. It like turned like black, and whatever color that is around the trim. Definitely didn't age well, but while they were clean, hot damn, these were awesome. This is one of my favorite Currys to play in, by the way, and that's probably why I'm so excited about these, is because they really did update them and upgrade them, which is something that we typically don't see, especially from retro stuff. So I think it's obviously the Kobe series from Nike. They're doing the Protro, which is a performance retro, and then we have what is it from Adidas? It's the Resto Mod stuff. So those are technically performance retros. We have had stuff before from Jordan Brand with the .0 series, which are kind of modern takes, but not quite a retro. And then also the Alpha series, like the Jordan 1 Alpha, which again was a modern update, but not quite a retro slash Protro. They were different shoes entirely. That's kind of what these guys are though. It's kind of like the Jordan Brand version where they have the essence, but it's not identical. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Just like the Jordan Brand stuff, I really did like their .0 series. I thought that they were great, and I love the Alpha 1s. So I really do dig what they've done here, and let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, the outsole or the midsole, it's all one piece. The tooling, if you will, is exactly the same as what we saw, I believe, on the Curry 8s. That's my one complaint, is I wish that this was from the Curry 9s. Only because the plate right here, or the torsion plate in the Curry 9 is a little bit better than what it was in the Curry 8s. On top of that, there were a number of people that when they would use the Curry 8s for long periods of time, so like, you know, weeks to months, but sometimes their shank plate would rip through the flow cushioning or outsole and everything. So that's my only like kind of complaint so far. Outside of that though, you're gonna get the same exact performance from the tooling itself. So you get the Under Armour flow cushioning system, which is super lightweight, and on top of that, it's extra grippy without being like bottom heavy with rubber and all of that stuff. So I remember playing in my Curry 8s outdoors, they worked beautifully. I played in the Curry 9s indoors, worked beautifully. Like, this is gonna be one of those shoes where it's like, yeah, you know exactly what you're getting from the tooling, which I think is awesome. They've placed it on here. There's rumors of them placing it on upcoming Curry 1 Flotros and things like that. Could we see them on all the Curry models from the past? I wouldn't doubt it.
Excellent.
Now the upper is where everything kind of starts to change as far as when we're comparing them directly to these. Obviously the tooling is different between the two. If I were to directly compare the tooling between the two, the Flotro version definitely has more cushion than the original. Like this guy, you're pretty much riding right on the floor, and it wasn't bad for what it is. Like if you're gonna have no cushion at all, I think that you should be as close to the floor as possible to promote natural movement. That way it's not as much of a shock to the system and stuff. So if you run around barefoot or whatever, like it's gonna be that type of feel. Again, different in the Flotro. You're definitely up off the ground just a little bit more. The base is extremely wide and everything, so it's just as stable. I think that they're gonna be great encore options no matter what. Curry's killing it in these things right now, so obviously there's that too. But again, the upper is super different. So on the original version right here, we have a full textile or knitted build, and then on top of that, we have synthetic overlays. They actually made the synthetic look like leather on these guys, which I really liked. It wasn't like that on every colorway, but it was like that on the majority of them. However, on this guy right here on the Flotro, man, like they went all out. Not only did they keep the knitted textile, but they changed it. So this is a little bit more comfortable in my opinion. And on top of that, instead of a synthetic build or rand overlay, it's all suede. Like, I never thought that we'd see this from Under Armour or the Curry brand and all that stuff. Like, this right here is a quality build, especially when you're comparing it to something like this. Like, there is really no comparison as far as what you're getting for your money. This is just a greater product. It just is. One thing though that I wish that they kept is this little piece right here, where you can see like his little tattoo piece right there. On the original piece, that was actually a stability piece. I can't remember if they called it the infinity plate or not. They might have, but it could have been, that could be a different shoe entirely. However, it does wrap wrap around and goes into the shank plate and everything. And I think that that piece of stability would have really been a benefit here. If they would have somehow retooled this a little bit. This is a little bit easier for them to make. It's cheaper because they've already got the molds. So doing this is kind of like a cut and paste job versus recreating something new altogether where it's going to be very, very costly. But I do wish that they would have kept that. However, I do like how it looks. Like this also looks like a lifestyle friendly version of the original 4s, which again, when you're comparing this to something that's more modern, like an Air Jordan 36, maybe the GT Jumps or the Runs. But if you're comparing these to like modern day shoes, I think that this looks more on and off court friendly just from the build alone. Like again, it feels like you're getting a quality product right here. Now that knit section that I was talking about earlier, again, it feels like it's way better than the original. Just the interior or eye stay panels alone are gonna be like way nicer. So like this guy right here, they pinched the hell out of my feet like on the tops. It took a little bit of time to break these in, and underneath the little like kind of holes where the laces go through, there's heat welded material, which is kind of like a TPU or a plastic. And so that stuff against your skin, especially once your skin starts to get soft while you're playing, it's gonna start chafing, dig into your skin, rip a hole. It's what it did to me. It's done it to other people as well. If it didn't happen to you, congratulations, your feet are awesome. But for me, it really jacked my ass up. But it did break in over time, which is something that I appreciated. However, the Flotro version changes all of that. So inside here, there are still reinforcement pieces because you need that, especially when it comes to textiles and knits like this. But it made it out of actual materials that feel more raw than the TPU plastics and stuff. So it feels like they got little suede patches in there, which I think are great because they're going to be much more malleable against your skin without needing break-in time. Like they're going to be malleable like right from the jump. So the more break-in time that you have, the more comfortable they should be. On top of that, you're not just relying on those little holes or eye stay areas as your lockdown system. They actually updated that and upgraded it by adding nylon cables all the way down. So you have this bridge suspension on your lateral side, which may be why they didn't add the little piece right here, because it's a lot already there. So maybe adding that there would have been too much. One area that I think that they should have worked on a little bit more is right here in the back. There's a heel counter inside, something that was almost lacking in this guy. There is a heel counter, it's just very small. However, the tooling molds right here, so the sides right there are really the heel counter, which we've seen in other shoes before, especially if you're looking way back. We just did the Zoom Flight 95 retros, so that's one of those shoes where you sit in the midsole like that, and that is like the support. But basically this cups your heel and everything, and it acts as the heel counter. Again, we've seen this numerous times on numerous shoes from all brands, and this guy, they lowered that because of the tooling and everything, so they added a heel counter, but it's a little soft. You know what I mean? So I wish that it was a little bit more rigid, but that's the only real thing that I feel like that they really could have done better is that heel counter, maybe use the 9s tooling instead of the 8s. And outside of that though, I feel like this is gonna be a much better model than the original, which again, I love these. This is a good product right here. I'm actually impressed, which is kind of hard to do. I see so many shoes. I'm impressed by these. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, I went true to size. That's exactly what I would recommend. I put these things on, they fit perfectly. They fit super nice. Like they feel like they're hugging your foot in a good way. Again, it did feel like a really good blend between this and one of their more modern shoes like the Curry 8 and the Curry 9s. There's lots of padding and sculpting in the back too that you can't really see. It's hard to see in there. Also, these are a little hard to get into, the original Curry 4s. This one was not. Like this feels like I went right in. It was awesome. So no struggling there. They added a front pull tab or a pull strap, which they definitely should have had on these ones right there. But I know that you haven't really seen these in a while, although they are right there. You just grabbed them.
Our kids grew up in these shoes. These were originally our daughter's. Now our son just managed to fit into them. When these arrived, I thought they were actually a luxe of the ones.
They did do that. The Curry ones did do a luxe pair, which were all premium, whether it was leather or suedes. They were awesome.
So it was when you pulled those out, and then I immediately went, oh yeah, like I've been lacing those shoes up forever for the kids.
For years it feels like. So, but yeah, I think that this is just a great version of the shoe. Again, I'm just really kind of impressed by what they've done already. Like this is, I think it's their first full year as a brand. The Curry 8 was the Curry brand, right? And then the Curry 9. So it's like their first full year. They are already dipping into retros, which I do think is weird. Like I will say, like completely up front, I think it's strange when a current player that's currently on the roster gets retros. I think it's strange.
I don't think it's weird at all because it shows how many. It'd be weird if, say, it was their 4th shoe and they're like, let's go back to the 1st.
It's only because of like the way that I grew up. Legacy models like a Jordan, those would be kind of like celebrated as he was leaving the league. I'm just saying, for me personally, I do think it's weird seeing LeBron still on court and him wearing his old shoe. But yeah, I just think it's a little weird when you're seeing like players like this that are still really like kind of in their prime, and then they're getting retros of their stuff. I'm like, it's just weird to me.
You gotta strike when the iron's hot.
I know, that's the part that I agree with, is like, hey, like some people really did love this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like the Curry 3s, right? They were not well received. If they updated and upgraded like this, maybe they would be. I don't know, you know? Like, so I'm curious to know. The Curry 2s was a great one, but that's one where I'm like, don't change anything.
That's the one that
Those
cut
were
up
awesome.
my ankles. I was so excited for those.
Yeah, well, we had the Chef Curry lows, and they didn't agree with her.
My Achilles.
Yeah. But anyways, you guys sound off below. Let us know what you think about these down below in the comment sections. Did you love the original Curry 4s? And do you like what they've done to them with the Flotro? And if there's any shoe within Curry's line, I will say you can include the 3-0 series, which is kind of, it was like the playoff series, you know what I mean? So you can do that. Which shoe would you Flotro next? Sound off below, let us know. Thank you so much for watching. If you were interested in grabbing these, I'll leave a link where I grabbed them from over at eBay. They're available overseas already. Big surprise. Anyways, with all that being said, thank you once again for watching. Thanks for all the support. And until next time, guys, have a good one.
And shout out to Hangles.
What the f is Hangles?
He was our first tipper.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, if you wanted to, sorry, I thought she was talking. There's a place down the street that's called Handles. It's an ice cream place.
I love that place too.
So I was like, did she say that wrong? Like, what the f is that? But if you guys wanted to leave us a tip or ask me a question, like me directly, and you're not part of our Discord, there's a little thanks button where you can do that. And normally when you see comments, it's not from me, it's just someone on our team is replying to you guys. But if you want me to reply, make sure that you say like, hey Chris, and then use that thanks thing, and then I'll jump on there and I'll answer whatever questions you guys have. So thank you once again, and till next time, because, you know, go Hangles. So, my bad.